There are birthdays that pass with little more than flowers, family photographs, and polite congratulations. And then there are birthdays that quietly become part of royal history, not because of lavish celebrations, but because of one unexpected moment that captures the imagination of an entire nation. As Queen Camilla marked her 79th birthday, public attention naturally focused on the celebrations surrounding the senior members of the royal family. Cameras searched for familiar smiles. Royal commentators analyzed every appearance. Supporters reflected on Camilla's remarkable journey from one of the monarchy's most controversial figures to queen at the side of King Charles III. But according to reports and widespread public discussion, it was not the birthday itself that left people talking. Instead, attention unexpectedly shifted toward a much younger royal, Princess Charlotte. What could a 10-year-old princess possibly do that would move royal watchers across Britain? And why did so many people describe the moment as one of the most touching displays of the monarchy's future? The answer, surprisingly, has very little to do with royal protocol. It has everything to do with family. Because behind every public celebration lies a quieter story, one about generations learning from one another, about traditions passed from grandparents to grandchildren, and about the small gestures that sometimes speak louder than carefully prepared speeches. According to several royal commentators, the significance of this moment wasn't measured by headlines or official announcements. It was measured by what people believed they witnessed, a glimpse of the values the next generation of royals may one day carry forward. But was this truly an extraordinary act that touched the nation? Or has an ordinary family moment gradually become something much larger through public interpretation? To answer that question, we have to look beyond a single birthday celebration and explore the remarkable journey that brought Queen Camilla, Princess Charlotte, and the modern royal family to this unforgettable moment. Royal birthdays have always carried meaning beyond the celebration itself. They are carefully choreographed moments that blend tradition, symbolism, and public duty. Every appearance, every photograph, and every guest list is examined for subtle messages about the monarchy's future. Even a simple smile exchanged on a palace balcony can become the subject of days of discussion. That is why birthdays within the royal family rarely belong only to the individual being celebrated. Instead, they become reflections of an institution that has spent centuries balancing private emotions with public expectations. As Queen Camilla approached her 79th birthday, many expected familiar scenes. There would likely be official portraits, carefully prepared statements, and warm wishes from members of the royal family. Public attention naturally focused on the Queen, whose journey from one of Britain's most controversial public figures to Queen Consort has been one of the most remarkable transformations in modern royal history. Whether admired or criticized, Camilla has gradually become an established part of the monarchy through years of consistent public service alongside King Charles III. Yet beneath the anticipation surrounding the birthday celebrations, another story quietly began attracting attention. It was not centered on speeches or ceremonial events. It was not about historic jewelry or palace traditions. Instead, according to widespread public discussion and commentary, attention slowly shifted towards someone much younger, a royal who represents the monarchy's future more than its past. Princess Charlotte. Unlike senior working royals, Charlotte has spent most of her childhood protected from constant public exposure. Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, have consistently tried to balance royal responsibility with as normal a family life as possible. Public appearances are carefully chosen, school remains a priority, and official photographs are often released directly by the family rather than through constant media access. That approach has allowed Charlotte to grow in full view of the nation while still preserving much of her childhood. Each passing year, however, observers have noticed subtle changes. Her growing confidence during public engagements, her calm composure during national ceremonies, the quiet reassurance she often seems to provide to her younger brother, Prince Louis, the respectful attention she gives to royal protocol despite her young age. Many commentators have remarked that these qualities appear to reflect both her parents' influence and the legacy of previous generations of royal women. It is impossible to discuss Charlotte's place within the monarchy without remembering Princess Diana. Although Charlotte never met her grandmother, Diana's presence continues to shape the royal family in visible and invisible ways. Prince William has spoken publicly about wanting his children to know who Diana was, not simply as an iconic public figure, but as their grandmother. Family photographs, stories shared at home, private memories preserved across generations. These quiet acts of remembrance help connect children born decades after Diana's death with a woman whose compassion continues to influence how millions remember the monarchy. At the same time, Charlotte also grows up during a very different royal era. King Charles III now occupies the throne. Queen Camilla has become an established part of the institution. Prince William prepares for the responsibilities that will one day accompany his own reign. Each generation carries different experiences, different expectations, and different public perceptions. Charlotte stands at the intersection of those histories. She belongs to the future while carrying the emotional inheritance of the past. That unique position explains why even relatively small public moments involving her often attract extraordinary attention. Royal watchers have long observed that children can sometimes communicate powerful messages without speaking at all. A glance, a gesture, a carefully chosen seat, a bouquet accepted with gratitude. These moments often resonate because they feel spontaneous rather than rehearsed. Whether intentionally symbolic or simply natural expressions of kindness, they remind the public that behind centuries of tradition remain ordinary human relationships. That emotional connection has become increasingly important as the monarchy continues adapting to a changing world. Today's audiences expect authenticity. They respond to sincerity more than ceremony. They look for glimpses of real family life behind palace walls. Perhaps no recent chapter demonstrated that more clearly than Catherine's own health challenges, which prompted an extraordinary outpouring of public sympathy. During that difficult period, many people expressed renewed appreciation for the family's emphasis on unity, resilience, and protecting their children from unnecessary pressure. Against that backdrop, Camilla's birthday carried additional emotional weight. Would the occasion simply celebrate another year of royal service? Or would it quietly reveal something deeper about how relationships within the royal family continue to evolve? Some royal commentators suggested that any appearance involving both senior and younger royals could naturally become symbolic, even if no symbolism was intended. Others argued that the public often projects its own hopes onto ordinary interactions between family members. Whatever the truth, anticipation continued to build. Because according to reports and widespread speculation circulating before the celebrations, one particular moment involving Princess Charlotte would soon dominate headlines, not because of grandeur or spectacle, but because of the emotion it seemed to evoke. And once that moment unfolded, many people believed they were witnessing something far more significant than a birthday tradition. The question was no longer how Queen Camilla would celebrate turning 79. The question had become why one young princess's unexpected gesture would leave so many people reflecting on the past, the present, and the future of the British monarchy. As the birthday celebrations unfolded, public attention naturally centered on Queen Camilla. Cameras followed the senior royals, photographers searched for meaningful expressions, and commentators examined every public appearance for signs of the family's evolving dynamic. It was a familiar scene, one that has accompanied royal milestones for generations. Then, according to widespread public discussion and commentary surrounding the occasion, attention began to shift. Not because of an official announcement, not because of a dramatic speech, but because of a seemingly simple interaction involving Princess Charlotte. Observers noted how composed the young princess appeared throughout the engagement. She displayed the confidence that many royal watchers have increasingly associated with her public appearances, while still retaining the warmth and curiosity expected of a child. Her body language conveyed attentiveness rather than performance, and many viewers interpreted her demeanor as a reflection of the careful guidance provided by her parents. It was this quiet confidence that sparked conversation. Some commentators suggested that Charlotte's respectful interaction with Queen Camilla reflected the values Prince William and Catherine have sought to instill in their children: courtesy, dignity, and an understanding that family relationships exist alongside royal responsibilities. Others cautioned against reading too much into brief public moments, noting that photographs and short video clips rarely tell the full story. Yet public fascination continued to grow. The reason was not simply Charlotte herself. It was what many people believed her presence represented. For years, discussions surrounding the royal family have often focused on division, changing roles, and the pressures facing a modern monarchy. Against that backdrop, a calm, respectful interaction between generations naturally invited broader reflection. Many viewers saw not controversy, but continuity. The symbolism resonated. Charlotte belongs to a generation with no personal memory of many of the events that shaped public opinion about today's senior royals. Her perspective is defined less by historical disputes and more by the family environment in which she is being raised. To many observers, that distinction matters. It suggests that the monarchy's future may ultimately be shaped not only by constitutional duties, but also by the everyday relationships built within the family itself. Royal experts have often remarked that children can soften public perceptions in ways formal statements cannot. A genuine smile, an attentive gesture, or a moment of shared warmth can communicate authenticity more effectively than carefully crafted speeches. That appears to be why this birthday became the subject of such extensive discussion. As images circulated, many people commented not only on Charlotte's poise, but also on the atmosphere surrounding the event. There seemed to be a quiet emphasis on stability, a reminder that the institution continues through generations, adapting while preserving its traditions. For Queen Camilla, the occasion also represented another milestone in a remarkable personal journey. Her public role has changed dramatically over the decades. What was once the subject of intense national debate gradually evolved into one of steady public service beside King Charles III. While opinions about her have never been entirely uniform, many acknowledge the consistency with which she has carried out official duties in recent years. That context gave additional meaning to the celebration. Rather than focusing solely on one individual's birthday, many commentators viewed the occasion as a reflection of the monarchy's ability to evolve over time. Relationships that once seemed defined by public controversy have increasingly become associated with continuity and institutional stability. Princess Charlotte's role within that narrative remains unique. She represents neither the past nor the present alone. She represents possibility. Every public appearance offers small clues about the kind of royal she may become decades from now. While it would be unfair to place heavy expectations on a child, it is understandable why audiences find themselves imagining the future whenever they see her growing confidence. By the end of the celebrations, the conversation had expanded beyond birthday wishes. People were discussing legacy. They were discussing family. They were discussing how values are passed from one generation to the next, not through grand declarations, but through countless ordinary moments witnessed over many years. Whether every interpretation was justified is impossible to know. Public events often invite symbolism that exceeds what participants intended. Nevertheless, one fact remained clear. This birthday prompted reflection far beyond the celebration itself. And as the cameras eventually turned away and the official event drew to a close, an even larger question remained. If small gestures from the youngest generation can inspire such widespread conversation today, what role might Princess Charlotte and her generation play in shaping the public image of the monarchy in the decades still to come? When the final photographs from the birthday celebration faded from newspaper front pages and television broadcasts moved on to other headlines, the lasting significance of the day was never likely to be found in the official schedule. Instead, it lived in the conversations that followed. It lived in the countless interpretations of a family moment that reminded many people why the royal family continues to captivate audiences around the world. Whether viewed with admiration, curiosity, or healthy skepticism, the monarchy remains an institution where even ordinary gestures are often understood through the lens of history. That is perhaps the greatest lesson from Queen Camilla's 79th birthday. It was not simply a celebration of another year. It became an opportunity to observe how one generation quietly hands responsibility to the next, not through formal ceremonies alone, but through shared experiences, mutual respect, and the gradual building of trust. Every royal generation inherits more than titles. They inherit expectations, traditions, public scrutiny, and the responsibility of representing an institution that has endured for centuries. Princess Charlotte stands at the beginning of that journey. Today, she is known as a cheerful young princess whose public appearances are still relatively rare. Yet every year, observers notice subtle signs of maturity. Her growing confidence, her awareness of royal etiquette, and her calm presence during significant occasions suggest a child who is slowly learning what life inside the monarchy requires. None of that guarantees what kind of royal she will become. Childhood should never be mistaken for destiny, but it does offer glimpses of the values being passed from one generation to another. Those values have become especially important during a period of significant change for the royal family. The reign of King Charles III represents both continuity and transition. Prince William and Catherine continue preparing for responsibilities that will one day place them at the center of the monarchy. Behind them stands an entirely new generation: Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, whose future roles will unfold in a world very different from the one their grandparents inherited. That changing landscape makes moments like this resonate far beyond a birthday celebration. Some royal commentators have suggested that the monarchy's long-term strength will depend not only on constitutional tradition, but also on public confidence in the people who represent it. Authenticity, empathy, and a visible sense of family have become increasingly important to modern audiences. While ceremonial grandeur still holds its place, many people now connect most deeply with moments that feel sincere rather than staged. If that observation is true, then Princess Charlotte's quiet presence carries symbolic importance. Not because she transformed the institution in a single day, but because she reminded people that every generation begins with small moments before growing into larger responsibilities. Queen Camilla's own story reflects that same truth. Her public life has been marked by extraordinary change. Over many years, she has navigated criticism, adjustment, and evolving public expectations while steadily carrying out official duties beside King Charles. Whether one views that journey positively or critically, it demonstrates how time can reshape public perception. Few royal stories illustrate transformation more clearly. Seen together, Camilla and Charlotte represent two very different chapters of the same institution. One reflects experience earned over decades. The other represents possibility still unfolding. Between them stands a monarchy constantly balancing memory with renewal. That balance may ultimately define its future. History has shown that the British royal family survives not because it remains unchanged, but because it gradually adapts while preserving its most enduring traditions. Every generation leaves its own imprint, responding to the expectations of its era while carrying forward the legacy it inherited. As Princess Charlotte grows older, public attention will inevitably increase. Her choices, charitable interests, education, and future public role will all become subjects of interest. Yet perhaps the most valuable lesson from this birthday is a reminder not to rush those expectations. Great public service is rarely shaped by a single event. It is built over years of consistency, compassion, and quiet dedication. For now, what remains is a simple but meaningful image: generations of one family coming together to mark a personal milestone while representing something much larger than themselves. In that image, many people found reassurance that beyond changing headlines and public debates, the monarchy continues to evolve through family, duty, and shared purpose. Whether history ultimately remembers this birthday as merely another royal celebration or as a symbolic glimpse into the institution's future, one thing seems certain. The conversations it inspired reveal that the public is still deeply invested in the people behind the titles. And perhaps that enduring human connection, more than crowns, palaces, or ceremonies, is what will shape the monarchy's next chapter for generations to come. As this remarkable story reminds us, the British royal family is often defined not only by grand ceremonies or historic traditions, but by the quiet moments that reveal its human side. Whether you viewed this birthday as a touching family milestone or simply another chapter in an ever-evolving royal story, its meaning ultimately lies in the conversations it inspires. We'd love to hear your perspective. Do you believe Princess Charlotte is already showing the qualities of a future royal leader? And how do you think the next generation will shape the monarchy in the years ahead? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this documentary, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next in-depth journey into the history, legacy, and future of the world's most fascinating royal family.